Welcome to IT Voice's walkthrough of the Embrace platform. In this video, we will review the role of Office Manager and show how you, the admin user, can quickly and effectively manage your phone system via the portal. To start, navigate via a browser to pbx.itvoice.app/portal. Use your given credentials of login name, extension @domain name, and the password that you create. Simply click the login button. An Office admin will be greeted on a home screen here with all active calls going on at the platform at any given time. Down here is a basic call graph information that will show you hourly calls and call paths. These filters can be zoomed out into hours, days, and weeks as needed, with additional drop-down options available across here. The right-hand side is simply going to show you some basic information about your system. Going to show you the amount of users you have, how many devices are on the system, and then some usage information down below. So you can compare this month's total minutes versus last month's if you need to. All options as an Office Manager will be accessible via the top row of widgets here. These are your top level directories, so anything you click on here will navigate you to the next available option. Clicking on the Users tab next, we are greeted with all the users on our system. These users are broken out by name, as you see on the left-hand side, their extension number. We can have individuals broken out further by departments and sites. You can see each individual's caller ID, or the number that when they make an outbound call will process and show on the far end. Here is their email addresses available for voicemail to email options. As an Office Manager, if you ever need to update a user, there are multiple ways to do so. For instance, today we are going to update the user extension 1007 at Don Test. We will go ahead and click on this link. When coming into a user, the first thing you'll notice is you will click on their profile information. This shows you their first and last name. You can see the time zone they're in, what their caller ID information is. You can update their email address as needed. And also from the portal, you have the ability to change their voicemail pin down below with a reminder that a minimum length is 4 characters. From here, you can also update each individual's answering rules. This determines what happens when a call is routed directly to an extension. So any calls currently coming to extension 1007 are rang for 25 seconds, or the equivalent of 5 rings. And the system is set to actively ring this phone, and this phone. The portal from here also shows you the status of the device that's connected to that. So for instance, Don has a phone registered online with our server on this phone, but does not have the web phone or WP open, and does not have the secondary phone, which is the lowercase a here for a secondary phone. You can come in here and edit on the right-hand side, and here's all the available options. If somebody wants to go into Do Not Disturb, you have the ability to update them here, which will gray out the rest of the options. You can do a call forward always and send calls to a cell phone number. You can send them to a different party or anything. You just put in the appropriate 11-digit telephone number. And then any changes that you do make to the system here, you can go ahead and click Save at the bottom, and those changes will be made instantaneously. By default, users who have voicemail enabled, which you can see on the next tab here for Enable Voicemail, any calls that are unanswered directly to them will go directly to that user's voicemail unless you choose the option, when unanswered, to route it elsewhere. Clicking on the voicemail tab, each user has the ability to have voicemail turned on or off here. They can also choose whether they have the receive time of the voicemail announced during the voicemail at the front end. They can also have the caller ID of it announced if they want. You can see how many messages they have. You can also tell voicemails if they need to be copied to multiple people, how those should be directed. And here's some basic information about their voicemail portal. So this user has a 10 megabit file storage, and are only using this much data currently. Users have the ability to manage their voicemail greetings here. You can play the current message from this button, play. You can download it if necessary. You can also click the edit button and utilize one of these three options to create a new greeting for voicemail. The most popular option is the text-to-speech option, which allows you to type out the message that you want it to say. Hit the drop down from all these available options here. You can preview the message once you type it out. And once you're good, you can go ahead and click the save button, and that message will be updated for you. You can also add multiple greetings. So we will click done. We'll add a greeting. This is a test. Now we're simply just going to click on Claire, and we're going to save that. Now the user has two individual greetings that they want. This is optimal for those who want to have a vacation voicemail or those who have maybe a morning greeting versus an afternoon greeting. If a user needs to change those greetings at any given time, they can now select from the drop-down option and see these different available options that will allow them to choose which greeting they want when callers reach their voicemail box. Our system does allow voicemail to email notifications, so you can check the box here. Select what type of email you want sent to the end user. The most popular version is to send with an attachment, which will send a WAV file or an audio file included with the email. And then after an email notification, what needs to happen to that voicemail. If you leave it as new on the system, it will stay on the phone system, which does offer the ability for it to clog up the system. So make sure to delete them as soon as possible. What most people do, and is the most beneficial, is to move the item to trash. You still have the original audio file on your email along with the email itself. So that way you can listen to it long term and not fill up your particular voicemail box. Anytime you make a change or update a setting here, you just click save, and that will save the profile information. The phone tab shows you what each individual user has as far as phones. We saw earlier that Don has a 1007, a 1007 WP, or what we call the web phone, and then an extra phone here, which is labeled by the A device. If you ever need to update users' first and last name, or if Don for some reason leaves and we need to reset a user, we can click on the Reset User button here. This will populate multiple items across the front here. You can select and deselect these as necessary. Just be mindful of what each one does. Delete voicemail messages. If you know there's some that need to be reviewed, leave those on there. You can, in most cases, delete the voicemail greetings. You can unassign phone numbers if necessary. What you'll also want to do is if you need to put in a new user automatically, you can recycle the user. Click Reset. When you click the Reset button, it's going to prompt you with inputting in a new first and last name along with an email address. And once you do that, the system will send that new user a welcome email if they qualify for that, to have portal access to get them set up on the system. If a user forgets their password for any particular reason and you need to reset that password for them, you can do a forced password reset here. And you can also, in most cases, click this to send an email immediately telling them that you've reset their password and they need to log in and update the information. As Office Manager, you have the ability also to perform what's called a masquerade. To masquerade is basically logging in as another user. You are authorized to log in as any other user except for other Office managers. So if you have multiple Office admins in your group, you will not be able to log in as each other. You can only log in to basic users or call center options. Since Don here is a basic user, we'll go ahead and click the masquerade feature to briefly show that a basic users portal does look a little different. Voicemails, call history, active answering rules, all these options will be reviewed in a different video titled Basic User. You have the ability as Office admin to provide shared contacts for the entire domain. If you click this, You can import from an Excel file, names, telephone numbers, and all the information that you need. If you need to do an export, you can do that as well, or you can individually add shared contacts by clicking here, filling in the information as seen above, save it, and then it will populate to all other users. Conferences are built by default into the phone system. We provide one on every domain for you to utilize for either internal calling or external calling. Conferences, you can come in and edit. You can give a leader PIN. You can give a participant PIN. These are what's required when somebody dials in to either become the leader of that conference or to join the conference as a participant. You can tell it how many users are needed to get the meeting started. And then some checkbox options down here below. You can require a leader to start, and you can announce when people come and go from the conference. Auto attendance. This is where most of your customers are able to, when they call in, thanks for calling us today. How can we direct your call? For sales, press 1. For service, press 2. Items like that. Here, we'll go ahead and click on the auto attendant. There is no limit to the amount of auto attendants or call queues that your system can set. If you need additional auto attendant or call queue licenses, simply open up a ticket at support@itvoice.com, and we'll be happy to adjust those numbers and make sure that your call routing is effective for your solution. From here, you can see the menu prompt. This is the audio greeting when customers call in and hit that auto attendant. And then these are your dial pad options. Somebody presses 1, this is where this call routes. Option 2, 3, 4, and so on. If you want to update an item at any point, you simply click on the number that you want to update. Here's all your available options. So we'll click on user here. I'm going to go ahead and type in that I want it to go to extension 1006, which is my extension. But I also want to put in a caller ID prefix so I know where this call is coming from. So I'm going to pretend this is a sales phone number. So I'm going to mark this as sales. What this does is it allows users, when they receive a phone call from this auto attendant, the caller ID information in front of the phone number will show it as sales and allow me the opportunity to answer the phone call in a sales-oriented mind instead of maybe a service mind or other options. We can do voicemail management from the outside. We can have phone calls directly to a conference, call queue, again, with the ability to do a caller ID prefix as needed there as well. We offer a company directory option. We can do it either by first name or by last name. You can also play particular messages, and then what happens to the call after that message is played. We can select from any of the other available options. And then your options information over here just tells you, do we want to dial by extension? What happens if no key is pressed? And what happens if the wrong key is pressed? And again, anytime you fill in an option, each of these will update automatically to show that there's an option for you to choose from. If you need to add a new auto attendant, from the main auto attendant screen here, you can click Add Attendant. We will provide you a numerical scheming route for building effective auto attendants, call queues, other items as necessary, but for the purposes of this video, we do recommend using the 8000 through 9999 extension range for auto attendants. So I'm going to create a new one called Updated Test, and I'm going to give it extension 8003. If for some reason you put in an extension number that's already in use, the system will flag it. Excuse me, and give you a warning that this extension is already in use. So make sure to always take your time, validate that it shows up new to not cause any disruptions or issues. When selecting a time frame, we always select the default time frame. You may see other drop downs for other time frames available, but all auto attendants need to have a default time frame set up. This is a properly set up auto attendant, so we'll click Add. And again, here's all of our options we saw earlier. So now I can pick and choose where option 1 goes, 2 goes, so on and so on. And similar to the voicemail greetings, we can update the information for text to speech. We can upload a greeting in either a WAV or an MP3 file, or we can record where we have the system call any extension or an outside phone number and record that greeting in real time and update it. If you ever need to update a already existing option in real time, there will be at the bottom what's called a star code be located in this journal area here. It's not on this because this is a demo domain, but you'd be able to dial star X amount or whatever is located here to update that greeting. Call queues are what some individuals would call hunt groups. This is where you build out all your groups if they need to ring to multiple people at once. We do offer multiple types of call queues. So we'll click on Add Call Queue first, and you'll see all the available options here. We'll start at the top with Round Robin, which is just going to look for the person who's been idle the longest and offer them the call first. Your tiered Round Robin, it allows you to do the same thing, but you can do a tiered system where it offers it to a group of people first, and then it can offer it to a second group in a Round Robin, and then allow the first group, if they become available, to then get the call routed back to them as needed. A Ring All is just going to ring everybody. A Linear Hunt is going to find people in a predefined order, and you can update that order at any given time. A Linear Cascade is similar to a Linear Hunt, but it stacks people on top. So if you're option 1 in the Linear Cascade, your phone will ring throughout the entire time. If you're option 3 in that group, your phone will not ring until the call is received into your grouping. Call Park allows you to place a call on hold and that call to be picked up and resumed on any other device. All Embrace phones will become pre-programmed with a minimum of 2 call parks to allow you to see those in real time. So I am able to communicate with the client. I can press one of the call park buttons on my phone, and any other users who have those park buttons pre-programmed will see the red light on their phone and be able to push that button, pick up the call, and resume it from their phone. No need to press hold, transfer, validate. A simple call park will allow that call to resume on any other phone. From the home screen here, I can see any available agents in each queue. So for instance, the Matthew test queue, I will click on this. This will show me that Matthew testing phone is offline, and that you can also add cell phone agents to this queue, and that is currently logged in. If I ever needed to log an agent out of a queue, if they were out for the day, you can simply come in here, edit the agent, mark them offline, save the agent. And now that agent is logged out of the queue. They will not receive calls as part of that queue option. If you need to add agents, you simply click Add Agents. All the available options will populate as soon as you click, but again, I can simply just enter in Don's information, and I'll put Don's web phone in and save it. From here, you can also select additional options, such as a wrap-up timer, which is how long before the next call is offered to an agent when they hang up the call. So I'm currently on a call. I hang up. I now have a 25-second wrap-up timer. That gives me time to put in notes, to gather myself prepared for the next call before it's offered to me. Max simultaneous calls is how many calls can I be offered as a part of that queue. Either 1 or 2 are the most prevalent options, but you can set that up to 6. And then the queue priority for the agent, that's for your Linear Cascade and Linear Hunt options. You can set that to order 2, 3, 4, wherever you need them to ring as a part of that particular call queue. Once you're done, you just click Save Agent, since we did add an agent. And now we'll see Don's available with the wrap-up time, the max calls. And that is wrapped up. Timeframes are a way for you to build out how calls should be routed throughout the day. This is what's going to allow you to also set up your holiday dates. It's going to allow you to set up weekend hours if you want to. It basically acts as a gatekeeper on where calls route depending on the time of day that you set. Clicking on domain will show you all active timeframes that are built for everybody to use in this system. Individuals under their basic user profile can also build their own timeframes that are only visible to them. As an office manager, you will see those, but you will not be able to utilize those on the domain level. So for instance, as my particular test on extension 1006, if I built my own time frame, it would show up here, but it would show up as a private, or it would be not able to be edited here. So it would show up as just black wording. Here's some available business timeframes that we have built out for you. So you'll see the name of it, who the owner is, when this occurs, and more specific information here. You can see the recurrence of it, and then when does that end. We'll go ahead and use the holidays time frame. There is a drop down of all the available recognized holidays already. So for now, we'll go ahead and click President's Day, as that was just a recent holiday. It's going to show you the next time that holiday populates up. So it's basing it upon how the calendar reads it, not necessarily a specific date. You can then select the time that this time frame starts and stops, and what is the recurrence of it. Do you want it to never recur again, or do you want it to happen every year on this year? This is a great way for you to set up your basic federal holidays and never have to reset them on a yearly basis. You also have observed holidays here, where it gives you the options. If a holiday falls on a particular day, you can do it to the prior work day. You can do it on and prior, on holiday, and next work day. This is really beneficial for Thanksgiving. If you give employees off Thanksgiving and the day after, you don't have to set them up as two separate holiday options. You can actually just put the observed holiday and next work day for the Thursday, and that would obviously update for the Thanksgiving default holiday. Once you're done with these information, you just click Save. And once that's updated, it will automatically update the holidays option here in real time for us. If you need to add a time frame, you just click here. Put the name of it in. We'll just put in test time frame. Here's all your available options again. So days of the week, specific dates, and you'll notice that the second toggle will change as we get this going along. We'll do days of the week for this one. So I'm going to click next. And now I select what days I want this to apply. I'm just going to put Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And from here I can click, and in 15-minute increments I can update this. Or if you need to manually update it, you can just edit the information personally. So if we're open silly hours from 8:07 till 5:09, I can edit that. And then I can copy to all the other options. So instead of having to manually set them 5 days a week, 7 days a week, you can set it to 1, and then it'll allow it to copy to all the other options. Again, your recurrent, you can make it every week, or you can make it for a set time period if you need to. This is great for summer hours. If you have a summer schedule versus a winter schedule, good way for you to sort of differentiate how those work. Click Save. Next, we'll go on to Music on Hold. Music on Hold is what your customers hear while they're waiting for you on the phone. Generally, for a call queue instance or for direct dials, you would normally hear that ringback feature. We do, of course, offer that as well. If you're looking for promotional material, especially if a customer's on hold, if you want to promote upcoming events or you have upcoming sales, the Music on Hold domain is going to be a great way for you to promote your product while customers are waiting for a rep to, speak with them. We'll click on the domain feature here. You can add music. This does need to be DRM free, copyright free music, of course. Can't have anything that is licensed out due to DMCA rules. You can add music here by browsing your personal desktop, give it a song name. You can also put in messages. So if you want to put an introduction message, this allows you to, before the call queue or before on hold puts that music into play, you can put a brief message to the customers. Thank you for calling us today. We'll be with you shortly. Again, just like we did with the voicemail greetings and the auto attendant messages, you can see all the available options here. And then you can also add messages as well. If you want to play different messages and different music, there will be drop downs that can occur that will allow you to drag and drop the music from a top down level to let you set what order that music plays in, or it can even be randomized. Once you have applicable music and available messages inputted here, those options would populate across the top to let you set those standards. Inventory, this is where your phone numbers are housed. You'll see all phone numbers on your system. You can see the treatment, which is where the call is routing to. You can see the destination, and then some particular notes. So if you want to put where this phone number maybe rang before, or if you have special information that you want to put in here, you can definitely put that information here. If you ever need to update a phone number in real time, let's say that I don't need this phone number for now, I need it to go somewhere else. You have the ability as Office Manager to come in and edit, and you can select from all these available options here, or you can just select it to go to a different user as such. Again, you can put a caller ID prefix here and then simply click save. And now that information is updated in real time. So now it populates. It will no longer go to Matt Test. It will go to Don Test. Another neat feature about the inventory portal is phone hardware. This will show you all desk phone items. You'll see we do support multiple devices, Yealinks, Polycoms, such on. The MAC addresses will be over here on the left-hand side, and you can see their last registration status over here with either a green check mark or a red X. Green check marks, registered to the system. That's a great sign. We want to see that. If you have a red X over one, that means it's not quite communicating with us at that time. You can hover over that piece of information and see the last time that the phone did register to the system. So for instance, Don's extra phone 1007A that we saw earlier has not been registered since January 23rd. This is a good opportunity for you to work with that employee and say, can we reboot your phone? Can you validate that it's plugged in correctly? There's some opportunity there for you to quickly troubleshoot locally. And then, of course, if you have any questions or need additional support, you can reach us at support@itvoice.com, and we'll be happy to address that. From here, as an Office admin, you can actually update the button configurations for a user. So we'll click a MAC address here. You'll see the photo of the phone itself, all the available buttons, and then the blue highlighted buttons are the options that we can change from the button builder. If you ever need to find out which button you're working on, you just click on it here. You can go to the next page. Down here at the bottom right, there are 3 pages on this particular phone for options. So what we'll do is we'll take this button here. It populates on the screen to show you. You can also click on the button here and it will update over here as well. Here's all your drop-down options. You can put multiple call parks. You can do speed dials. You can do a queue toggle if a user is a member of 1 or 2 queues. You can also do a queue login and a queue logout, an intercom, and a move my call option. Once you select the appropriate one you want, you just input the information, and then you can put a label here. Anytime you make a change to a button on the phone system, it's important to always remember not to click just the save button. Click the arrow button and you want to do a save and resync. This will automatically send an update to the phone and the cloud server in real time to update the information on the phone. By clicking the save button, you're saving the configuration update, which is not going to update the phone until the next time that the phone communicates with the server. Save and resync bypasses all that and sends it directly from the cloud server to the phone. Call history. This is where you can see all CDR data. By default, the past 48 hours will always be showed to you first. If you click the filters button, you can filter on users, departments, sites, caller number, dial number, call type, inbound, outbound, missed, extension to extension. An upcoming feature very shortly will be the sentiment of the call. Using AI, the system actually has the ability to generate the sentiment of how that call went based on verbiage, based on emphasis, and based on emotions during the phone call. And then you could also do a closing sentiment here. Once you hit all the information you want, even from the top here, you just click filter. Here's all your information showing where the call came from, phone number, where it dialed, who it went to ultimately. If there was any live calls on extensions, those would be answered here. And then here's the time, the date of that call, and the duration of it. You can do an export of this information into an Excel file from here. If you want to schedule daily, weekly, or monthly exports of CDR data, you can schedule those via the Scheduled Exports button, which you see here that we have one set up already. You can do a live download of that from the last report if you want, or you can create as many of these as you need. Scheduled exports also allow you to send that information to up to 5 different email addresses outside of yourself. So if you need that sent to a group of people, we can definitely set that up for you as well. Office managers, because they have access to the portal, just like a basic user or call center agent or call center supervisor, also have access to the web phone console. So by clicking the apps button, you can come back either to the user portal itself, which we're already in. You can do the Embrace console, which is the attendant console, which we'll review shortly. We offer Snap Mobile Web, which is going to be the web phone option. When you click on that, it will generate a new web page here across the top. Here's a dial pad automatically for you. So you can dial 10 digits, hit the call button, and that makes that outbound call for you. Here's your contacts here in the middle of the page. You can look at your call history from here, your voicemails, chats, call parks, and other options. Now, the web phone itself does not show you call history of the whole domain because it's only using your personal information. So you will be only looking at your direct call history from here. You would need to come back to the portal to look at the full domain call history. If you use the web phone and an inbound call is made and sent to your device, you could actually answer the call from here. There'd be a small pop-up in the middle of the screen with the caller ID number and the ability to answer it in green or decline it in red as needed. From here, let's go ahead and look at the Embrace console or the attendant console real quick. All standard users or standard seats on the Embrace platform who have a portal access have the ability to have an Embrace console. All this does is show you all users, shows you their call parks over here. You can make a call here and it will make it on the desk phone for you. So it will ring the desk phone, you will pick up the desk phone, accept the call, and then the call will be generated for you. Inbound calls can be answered from here and picked up on the desk device as well. So you'll click here, and as the active call is going on, you can actually drag that call to a different user. And it will populate with, do you want to send it directly to the extension? Do you want to send it to their voicemail? Do you want to send it to either a work, mobile, or home number if that contact has the information provided for that? If you're looking for your information as office manager, you want to implement stuff on your personal account, all you need to do is come to the top right-hand corner where your extension is and click on My Account. You'll notice it looks very similar to a basic user in this profile where you have all your voicemail messages here. You can play them. You can have the system call your desk phone and play it privately if you want. You can forward it on to another user. You can download it. You can save it. Or you can delete it. Deleted voicemails on the system by default are set to be removed after 24 hours. So if you do delete one, it's not permanently removed. There is a way to go into the trash setting and remove that. That information is covered in a future video with basic users, but I will quickly reference that you can come into the Messages tab and click on Trash, and this is where those deleted messages would be. When you're ready to go back to managing the organization, you just click on Manage Organization at the top. It's going to take you out of your user and back to the home page of your domain. That is a brief snapshot of the Office Manager portal. As you see here, it's very easy to use, very user-friendly. We have made this portal accessible to you on purpose to allow you to come in and make the changes that you need to in a quick and efficient manner and be able to get back to your normal day-to-day operations. If you have any questions about the Embrace portal or the Office Manager role, please open a ticket with us at support@itvoice.com, and we'll always be happy to help. Thanks so much and have a great day.